Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about The Little Mermaid, the 2023 remake. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. As I already mentioned, this is a remake of the classic 1989 Disney animated film. This thing right here. Now, with the original Little Mermaid, it's probably the one of the most important movies Disney's ever made because before this came out, Disney was in a bad spot, a really bad spot, especially with their animated animation department. Like the 70s and 80s were rough. Like the Black Cauldron that almost tanked Disney entirely. So yeah, things could have been going better. But then this movie came along, and not only was a critical success but a commercial success, making over 200 million worldwide. And this movie, as you know, birthed the Disney Renaissance, which lasted from 89 to 99. And as you know, the Disney Renaissance consists of such movies like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Mulan, Tarzan, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Pocahontas, I guess. But yeah, that was some would consider the golden age of Disney animation, and this started that whole thing. So it's a very important movie in the grand scheme of things, and it has millions upon millions of fans. So obviously that's going to help the remake because of good old brand name recognition, right? Because Little Mermaid, very well known Disney movie. So obviously that's going to help the new one. Has literally been the case for all of these recent Disney remakes, Uh there's so many of them. It's ridiculous. Like Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Maleficent. Well, Maleficent was more like wasn't a straight up adaptation of Sleeping Beauty. It was more of a hey, let's have Sleeping Beauty, but from the villain's perspective. So I'm trying to think of some others. There's Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Mulan. Well, I don't know Mulan. The way that ended up, I don't know if I'd count that, but a lot of these movies benefited from brand name recognition, and this will be no exception. So yeah, brand name recognition, easy pro. Another pro are is the financial success of these Disney remakes. I mean, sure, we can whine and moan about how unnecessary these movies are because they are unnecessary. We can complain about how they're just soulless cash grabs. But the fact is, a good amount of these Disney remakes make money. Okay? And I'm about to show you that. So, like Lion King 2019, that was like the last big one we've had. I mean, sure, there was Mulan and Cruella, but Lion King 2019 was the last mega hit. And, that opened with like 191 million, made over 500 million domestic, 1.6 billion worldwide. And that's a movie I refuse to watch because if I do watch it, it will destroy my soul because I love the original Lion King and I've seen enough of this remake where I'm just like, no, never. Just never. I don't want to just deal with that. And then what else we have? Aladdin 2019. It came out literally 2 months before Lion King. And that opened with like 91 million, 355 million domestic, billion worldwide. Trying to think of some other Alice in Wonderland, which literally started this whole trend. So if there's any movie you gotta blame, it has to be that one. That movie made like over a billion 2010, which was like rare back then. Now it's super common, but yeah, that was a huge achievement for Alice in Wonderland, which obviously that no doubt put in gave Disney the idea to remake all their animated stuff into live action, or I guess in the case of Lion King, realistic looking animation to make that a quick buck or two. That's exactly what they did. Trying to find some others. Beauty and the Beast. That was a huge one back in 2017. Like this movie was big, dude. I watched it, and yeah, it was a huge deal. And it's not popping up here, which is really annoying. Here it is. Okay, it's just not showing up right. So Beauty and the Beast, up of 174 million, made over 500 million domestically, 1.2 billion worldwide. As you can see, these numbers are quite huge. um, and we're not even done yet with some of these. Like, I have to like show you some others because there's just too darn many of these things out there. There was the Cinderella one that didn't do like super well, but it did decent enough. 200 million domestic, 500 million worldwide. That's still a very solid number. And then there was, I'm struggling to remember what it was. Maleficent. I forgot how to spell the name. That's kind of embarrassing. I know. um, it was. Damn. How do you spell Maleficent? Oh, I should know this because I literally made a prediction video for the sequel like years ago, but I don't. So how do you? Okay, so it's an E. Oh wait, that's not it. Oh, it's F. Maleficent. There we go. Okay, that took way too long. So Maleficent came out in 2014, made 241 million domestic, 700 million worldwide. Then you got Jungle Book. 2016, probably the best of all these remakes, if you ask me. Jungle Book 2016, open for 100 million domestic, 330 over 300 million domestic, 900 million worldwide. So as you can see, you clearly see these Disney remakes make a lots of money. So yeah, and obviously it was only going to be a matter of time before this got touched. So yeah, the financial history of these Disney remakes, I'm labeling that as a pro, definitely. Another pro is the reviews are not terrible. They're actually a lot better than I thought they would be. I mean, that doesn't mean they're amazing because they're not. It's at 67% critic score, which is fine, I guess. But its audience score is much higher, 95%. So that really tells me word of mouth is pretty good from like general audiences. And the cinema score is an A, which is also a really good sign. So overall word of mouth is not bad. It's pretty decent, all things considered. So I would label that as a pro, definitely. Another pro is that competition wise, there's nothing like direct. I mean, sure, there's Fast X and Guardians 3, but I don't I don't think Little Mermaid's gonna get hurt by those movies because unlike a lot of movies in the marketplace right now, this is clearly aimed more towards like the female demographic. You know, it's very female centric right here. While Fast X, Guardians 3 are more male centric. And besides, Guardians 3 is going to be like 4 weeks old, so it's pretty much old news. And Fast X, from what I've seen from early numbers, that movie is fallen, it has fallen hard. So that's not going to really put a dent in the Little Mermaid. Not to mention movies coming out like after this. I mean, there's like when it comes to like direct competition, there's really nothing until like what Barbie. That's not till like late July. So this movie has like time to play out. because sure, there's other blockbusters coming out like Across the Spider Verse, Rise of the Beast, The Flash, etc., etc. But obviously, this is the audience for this is different from all those other movies, so it'll probably survive just like how Aladdin was able to survive amongst like a bunch of blockbusters opening after it. I feel like the same will probably happen here. So yeah, lack of direct competition right now and in the future, definite pro. Another pro is that Disney's been marketing the hell out of this movie. Obviously, why wouldn't they? I mean, you spent so much money on it, $250 million. You better you bet they're gonna push it as hard as they could, as hard as they can, to make that money back. So yeah, big advertising push. Everyone knows this movie is coming out. So obviously that's a good thing. So that's a pro. Another pro I can think of is it's a Thursday night Thursday night numbers are actually really good. Up of 10.3 million, although like 850,000 was from like Wednesday showings, but in total 10.3. For comparison's sake, Aladdin, which came out in 2019, same weekend, pretty much, that had a Thursday preview of $7 million. So obviously 10.3 is much bigger than 7. And Aladdin opened of over 90 million, so that's a really good sign. Now, granted, this number is a lot worse than say Lion King, which had a Thursday preview of 23 million, and then Beauty and the Beast. Let me see. I believe that preview was like 16 million. I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 16. Was it 16? 16.3. Now, obviously, like there was no chance in hell Little Mermaid was gonna match Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. I mean, the original Little Mermaid movie is nowhere near like in terms of the popularity scale. Lion King and Beauty and the Beast overtake it. Hell, Aladdin overtakes it technically. So yeah, expecting Little Mermaid to make Lion King or Beauty and the Beast money, expecting that to happen is just silly, in my opinion. But the fact that it's a lot higher than Aladdin makes me think that this movie's gonna have a really good opening weekend. But yeah, and just in general, like for the year, I mean, trying to think of other movies that opened higher. There was Guardians 3, there's Ant-Man 3. I'm trying to think of some other. Were there others? I'm really thinking. I No, I think that's it. Is that it? That's it. So this is the third best of the year, even better than like Fast X and John Wick 4. So very positive sign. And the thing is, this movie is not going to be as front loaded as Guardians 3. Well, Guardians 3 wasn't even that front loaded, but Ant Man 3 certainly was. The thing is, this isn't a comic book movie, so it's not going to be like everyone's going to rush to see it day one. This is going to be a bit more played out. Like it's going to be more of like a long term thing than like a short term thing. So yeah, Thursday previews are definitely a pro. I guess I also mentioned Memorial Day weekend, big holiday weekend for summer, definitely. Disney loves this weekend for some reason. They always want to put a movie there, which I mean, they had the record for Memorial Day weekend for like 15 years. With it was Pirates 3, Pirates at World's End. I might as well look at the rest of the Memorial Day movies. Like last year, Top Gun Maverick, the movie that beat Pirates Three's record, opened with like 126 million last year, and had a 4-day weekend of like 160 million. Little Mermaid's not going to match that, obviously. But look at this Memorial Day in general. If I can find it, Top Gun Maverick has too many records. I swear. Memorial Day, Here we go. Memorial Day openers. Okay. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick. We got Pirates 3, X-Men The Last Stand, Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Fast Furious 6, Aladdin, Days of Future Past, Hangover Part 2. As you can see, lots of big hits. Lots of heavy hitters here. I'm not counting Solo because that was anything but a heavy hitter. But and Memorial Day is historically a pretty good weekend to launch a big movie, as we saw last year with Top Gun Maverick. And yeah, so releasing like a big weekend like this, obviously a pro, definitely. So yeah, that the Memorial Day weekend date is definitely a pro. I think that's it. Okay, for pros. Cons. All right, so let's get the cat out of the bag. All right, Air in this version of Little Mermaid, Ariel is black. That's it. Um, yeah, they turned her. She went from a white girl to a black girl, and as you can imagine, the internet wasn't too happy about this. Well, these certain subsections of the internet weren't very happy about this. They made their displeasure very well known. For months, I've been hearing just the same old stuff about Little Mermaid. Lots of complaints. Lots of people being like, this is not my Little Mermaid," pretty much. Which I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously this is going to be the case for like all these these remakes, because people are going to compare them to the originals directly, because in a lot of ways they are the originals, just done differently. And people are going to like nitpick and scrutinize any detail of these new movies. And like in the case for this, I mean, it's kind of more justified, because like some of these character design changes, ooh, let me let me tell you, it's ooh, okay, I have to show you some of these new designs, especially for the fish. Oh, there's so much to discuss. All right, so you got like the human esque characters. They all look fine. They're like whatever. It's the anthropomorphic characters where things go off the rails. So first you got Flounder. This is Flounder. Remember Flounder? This ain't it. The only reason why anyone would even recognize Flounder is with the color scheme. But besides that, like this looks like a normal ass fish. Which I guess was gonna happen because it's supposed to be a more realistic take on Little Mermaid, but yeah, just ugh. So that's Flounder. Oh, but that's nothing though. Just wait till you see. I clicked on the wrong thing. Wait till you see Sebastian. This is Sebastian. You know the crab from the original. This is him now, and he looks horrifying. I hate looking at this. I can feel my eyes burning just looking at him. Like I just those eyes, the mouth, the Mr. Krabs, realistic Mr. Krabs, and like in SpongeBob, the actual show is a lot more appealing than whatever the hell this thing is. So yeah. Then we got Scuttle. It's probably the least offensive of the bunch, but people will be like, this just looks like a bird. So I mean, it's still better than the nightmare that is Sebastian, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Just changes like that are gonna annoy people, gonna really piss people off. And so yeah, the buzz behind Little Mermaid online has been extremely negative. So I like to label that as a con, but in reality, the most of the people complaining about this movie, they're not even like the target demographic for this movie. And like the people who are gonna show up to see this movie aren't gonna give the slightest fuck about any of this buzz. any of like these criticisms. They're gonna just watch it because it's the new big Disney movie. So yeah, but I might as well just label the online buzz as a con. Although Aladdin 2019 had a bunch of negative online buzz, didn't hurt it in the slightest box office wise. So because of that, of what happened with Aladdin, I knew not to be like, okay, the online buzz is gonna kill Little Mermaid. Because if it didn't kill Aladdin, probably wasn't gonna kill this either. But I might as well mention the online buzz. So that's con number one, pretty much. Con number two, just the reputation of these remakes is pretty damn bad. A lot of people see them as soulless cash grabs, just lifeless, soulless, just trash. And a lot of them are, definitely. A lot of them qualify as that. Some are all right. I mean, the Cinderella one I thought was fine. Jungle Book I thought was pretty darn decent, honestly. Beauty and the Beast, ugh. I haven't seen Aladdin or Lion King or Mulan, or really any of the recent ones, so I can't really comment on those. But a lot of people don't like them very much, especially with Mulan. Like that's a whole bag of worms. That that I don't want to go into. Then recently there was like some on Disney Plus. I think it was the Pinocchio one. I heard that was atrocious. Like that was a special level of bad. And then like literally 1 month ago, there was like Peter Pan and Wendy, which was torn apart by pretty much anyone who watched it. So yeah, the reputation of these movies are very much not good. So that's a con. I'm trying to think of some other cons. I guess uh those like the main two cons going against this movie. I guess I can mention all the general blockbuster competition coming out, even though it won't directly affect this. Those big movies are going to take away this movie's big screens and everything, which is going to hurt. So a little bit, but so like competition, like overall, like this weekend right here, this is this movie's one chance of getting the spotlight. After that, it's gone. Like, this is one time to shine. Because after this, it's gonna get fierce. It's gonna get competitive, like very competitive. So yeah, all the competition coming out is gonna. I don't think it's gonna have a huge effect, but it's gonna chip away at it ever so slightly. So that's a con, and I think that's really it. So opening weekend, 3 day and 4 day. Looking at the other Memorial Day movies, I gotta find them again. It's gonna take a minute. But yeah, Top Gun Maverick. God, where is it? Memorial Day. Not all movies. Opening. Okay. Looking at all these movies, and judging by its preview numbers and its trajectory, I think this is gonna be in the top five for Memorial Day openings. Definitely. I see this hitting triple digits easy. I see it definitely doing better than Aladdin. So I'm gonna say for the 3 day, 100 to 110 million, and for the 4 day, 125 to 130. That's where I see it landing. And then it's total. I see this having decent enough legs. I mean, Aladdin had pretty strong legs, all things considered. Definitely. I don't know if its legs are going to be as good as that. But I can see this reaching over 300 million. I can definitely see this making more domestically than what the original made worldwide. That I know is going to happen. So, yeah. I think over 300 million seems realistic at this point. So that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm sticking with. And that's it for Little Mermaid 2023. Now, there's two more movies to talk about. I know we're almost done. Two more movies to talk about. The Machine, You Hurt My Feelings. And then I'll be it for the weekend and for May. Thank God. So, yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, Like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? Got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year or any other years. You want to watch any of those, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that are supposed to come out but didn't. I covered Little Mermaid once. One time only. That was episode 81, so like almost 2 years ago. Like I talked about it because that's when it got its date. And it stuck to that date. Like it never moved at all. So uh yeah. Talked about it at one time alongside the Bob's Burgers movie and a bunch of Marvel Studios movies. So there's that. So you want to watch that episode or any other ones I've done? I've now done 192 episodes. So if you want to watch any of them from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that. So go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. May recap will come out the first week of June. In between Across the Spider-Verse and Rise of the Beast. It'll come out then, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.